Kelsey.
Cheers.
Thank you for making us coffee.
My pleasure.
I was saying before that it's usually I'm the one making the drinks and bringing the drinks, so it was a nice treat to have you make this coffee. And I'm also so happy to be here having this drink. I've seen photos in magazines and on Instagram, so this is super fun.
Yeah, it's fun for me too to share the space with you.
Yeah. Well, I kind of want to start from the very beginning.
Yeah.
You bought this property 6 years ago.
Yes.
Built from the ground up. It's landed national press and Domino magazine, Better Homes and Gardens. And while you are a acclaimed Airbnb host, it's really so much more. The space was designed with your well-being in mind. So I'd love to hear the original intention
Sure.
of this property.
Well, I've been an Airbnb host for a number of years and set out to do this project as like something special. I've always had this like love for hospitality and taking care of people. And this space, every detail that went into it was designed with that in mind. So it's never supposed to be a personal space for me. It just was, the whole idea was guest comfort and like quality and the whole well-being concept as well. I just wanted this space to feel like a place where people could have healing in any form and just relax and let go of everything else. I've kind of always said like, you know, I want people to feel at home but away from it all. So yeah, that's just kind of what I set out to do with this space.
Well, I'm feeling relaxed. I feel like I'm
yeah.
feeling like I'm on vacation, even though I live 30 minutes away. How do you design with well-being in mind? Like, what was that process? What was really important when you had this like blank canvas?
Sure. I really like to start with using all natural materials. That's really important to me, like as little plastic as possible, just from like a purely like chemical standpoint. Like all of the paint is either no VOC or lime wash, and so just from that like aspect, that makes me feel good about being here, and I want that for my guests too.
Yeah.
But overall, just like with the palette and just all of the textures, like just creating this really natural feeling space for people that puts them at ease. And, you know, I wanted it to be a place for inspiration or, you know, self-care, whatever that means to somebody.
Yeah.
And I like to incorporate that in every project I'm doing, like designing spaces that make life easier or more enjoyable, because I feel like there's so many things that well-being encompasses, and that's just, you know, we're in our homes so much, or when somebody comes here to stay, I'm seeing more and more that they just don't want to leave here, so they're like here.
And you're like booked nonstop.
Yeah, that's been shocking to me. It's like I was mentioning earlier, it's just becoming more and more. It's not just the summer months, it's the entire year. Because I think people are just looking for, especially with this trend of people working remotely, it's like they'll come here and work for the week, like a workcation. So it's not just limited to these like typical vacation times of year. It's really becoming more and more just like normal to like work from wherever you can.
What are some of the thoughtful details that went into the design that perhaps like at a glance one might not see?
So, I mean, like every outlet, every vent, you know, it's like those are the things that if they're wrong, they're very apparent, but if they're right, they just kind of go away.
Right. I guess if it's right, then you don't notice
Exactly. So, I mean, I really did think through every little thing. And again, like everything that the guest interacts with was really important to me, like the light switches, the faucets, like using like solid brass for those. And yeah, even like the door hinges were important to me. The toilets, like everything needed to be beautiful, and like it's like the sum of all these small details, I think, that make something really special.
Totally.
And so when those are all right, like most people won't notice them, but you feel it. And yeah.
you can feel that, it was a labor of love. I'm curious, 6 years ago when you were going through the construction and putting it all together, what were some of the hurdles or challenges?
Yeah, so actually it's only been finished for a year from December. So I just had the property for that long.
Things take time.
It does. Yeah, so it was one of those things where there were a lot of hurdles and challenges. We started off building this with a builder, and it just, they were great, but we didn't, at one point, just decided to part ways. And so then just trying to take a house that was partially completed and get that back on track was a huge ordeal. And then that coincided with COVID. So I had finally orchestrated all of these people to start. And then it was the beginning of March 2020. And so,
oh my gosh,
just everything got canceled. So my dad stepped in, and he ended up driving up every weekend from Detroit until the end of the year.
Oh my gosh.
And helped me finish it. So.
Wow. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, talk about your newest venture.
Sure.
So we'll be right back.
Okay.
So the success of this property led you to quit your design job, move from Grand Rapids, full-time up north, to start your own firm here. So what was that moment, that standout moment where you made that leap to start your own hospitality group?
Well, I had been thinking about it for a little while, and then it was the end of the year last year. Okay. And it just felt like, I have to do this. I have to be up north. Every time I drove back to Grand Rapids, I was just like, why am I doing this? I want to be here.
Yeah, and craving to be up here. I know that feeling.
And just I felt like I was kind of half in Grand Rapids, half in up here. And I just knew that this was the place that I wanted to call home. And I had met so many great people. And I'm it's hard to really form these relationships when you're just driving back and forth all the time. So I didn't really have a plan. I knew that this was going to be, at least enough to get me started. And yeah, and the rest just kind of fell into place.
A lot of podcasts probably when you're making that drive.
A lot of podcasts.
So this was just a year ago. You took this.
Yeah, just over a year ago.
Just over a year ago. So when you started with this property, was that kind of always the plan to parlay? Did you have these bigger visions, or what was that moment where you knew that you wanted to do more and really kind of grow the business?
Yeah, so I designed this to be kind of a micro hotel because I've always been so interested in hospitality and like I love nice hotels. Yeah. And my background was more in residential design, so I felt like I needed to prove my own concept, like I can do this, like guest experience, focused design, I guess. And I just kept telling people, I'm like, I want to be in hospitality. That's like what I want to do. As much as I love residential, I just love like being able to like think about the things the guest is going to interact with, like, you know, little like coffee setup or whatever it is, like to make them feel like at ease. And there's just like a whole nother level of thinking when it comes to hospitality. So that's something I just like really wanted to pursue. And this felt like kind of my laboratory for that process.
I think that is so smart. I think that is just genius.
Yeah, I just didn't think anyone was gonna like hand me the keys to their, you know, hotel and without any experience. So
Wow, that is super cool. And then also the history of this property, kind of going back a little bit, was it the Ferndale Motel?
Yes.
So that's kind of, can you share kind of that little history
I don't
there?
know a ton about it, but there were several, I think about 5 cabins on the property, the Ferndale Motel. I had to take a couple of them down, and actually a few of them are repurposed in the neighbors' yards. So I was going to try to restore the property, but it ended up just being one of those things where the space wasn't large enough to accommodate what I needed. So in the spirit of the Ferndale Motel, which is where the name Fern House like originated from,
Love it.
I kind of kept this structure really simple and like an ode to what was here, like this wooden cabin. So most people, when they pull up here, they think it's always been here.
Mm-hmm. So Fern House Studios is your newest business. Did people believe in you when you were like, I'm going to, start here and evolve into this? Like, did you feel like,
yeah.
Were you scared? Like, what was?
I was scared. I do feel like I had a lot of support. Yeah. I think where I had to like kind of like pump myself up more was for pushing for this really like luxury experience and knowing that there was a market for that. Because I did get a lot of pushback as I was building this place, like, why are you putting such nice cabinets in or nice furniture? And I just stuck true to this vision. I'm like, I know there's people who want to experience this. And my thought, I mean, going back to the whole like concept of well-being is like quality things last a long time. You know, they're better for the environment, they're better made, and just like bringing that whole like everything was thought out and not just like thrown in.
And it's like if you're craving and desire something like
yes.
it, then there's got to be other people.
Exactly. So kind of on that concept, like the success I've seen with this just has shown how much demand there is for this type of thing up here. So I formed Fern House Studio with a local group to kind of bring that on a bigger scale.
So tell me about these projects. I'll let you share.
Sure.
They sound super cool, but I'm excited to hear it from you.
Yeah, so right now we're working on, our biggest project is the mill in Glen Arbor, and that is going to be, it's been a full restoration of this historic flour mill. And we're adding several food and beverage concepts, the first of which will be a cafe, an all-day cafe with coffee and grab and go, and just focusing on like seasonal local produce and giving Glen Arbor an option that's healthy and supports the community. We'll be taking on some of our own farming at some point, but that's a whole nother story. But yeah, we just want to focus on like delivering highest quality, simple, delicious, like all-day cafe kind of vibe. And then there's also going to be a cocktail bar with small plates and then a 30-seat restaurant down on the river.
Oh my gosh.
So 3 different concepts in that building. And then there's some lodging as well on the property.
Wow, that's a big project. So what other projects can you share with us?
So we're also working on the Riverside Inn in Leland. So it's an iconic inn and restaurant on the river. Really excited to be a part of it. And this year we've really focused on getting the rooms completely renovated, adding a 5th bedroom. So we'll have additional lodging.
I didn't even know you could stay there. I thought it was just a restaurant.
Yeah, no, it's always been an inn. And so, but we're trying to bring a little bit more exciting, vibe for locals to even stay there all year round. Just something different.
A staycation.
Yeah, it's great for a staycation, and we'll be doing some renovations on the interior probably next winter of the restaurant. But in the meantime, we've brought in some new culinary team and really have a great existing team. That's been one of the really nice things about the Riverside. Great back and front of house that has been there for years. So that's a really exciting project. And then we're also working on Brew in Traverse City.
Oh.
So right now, we just rolled out coffee program with Madcap out of Grand Rapids. Yeah. And then in the next month or two, we'll be rolling out all new bar menu. We're working with Roman from the Bartending Co. to launch a whole new cocktail program. Great wines, just bringing back the nighttime space at Brew. And then we'll be rolling out a whole new menu. So locally sourced ingredients, really fresh, kind of like wine bar menu all day.
Fun, cute.
All day cafe. So a lot going on there. And then we'll be doing interior renovations probably at the end of the year.
Well, I want to say congratulations on this new business. It's so exciting. And, I even though this is so fresh, I want to ask, what is next? What is this the dream? Are you living the dream?
Yes. I am living the dream. And I haven't mentioned, but I have an incredible team that I could not do this without. And they've been just so critical in getting all these projects to where they are and to where they're going. And I think we have some exciting things in the works. We're really focused on Northern Michigan, and that's where we all want to be, and making spaces that we want to hang out in, and spaces we can just continue to build community and support community is really important to us.
I love talking about community because I think that's one of the reasons I myself decided to stay. So what would you say makes the community here so special?
I think it's just been so welcoming for me to I've never felt so instantly at home somewhere. It's just this spirit of entrepreneurs. There's not a lot of jobs up here, so I feel like people that move up here, it's they're making their own path in one way or another. So it's just, I've met so many artists and writers and, people starting cool businesses, and everyone wants to help each other. Yeah. So it doesn't feel like there's this, competition's good for all of us and it's welcome, but I feel like there's also this mindset of helping each other out.
I love to hear that.
Asking questions, and I've just really felt that here more than anywhere else. So it feels like a good place to be launching these properties and whatever else we venture into.
Well, I was going to ask if you felt supported by the community as you start this new business, and it sounds like you have, especially being a woman in hospitality and just kind of entering this new space, if what the community has been like in that lane.
Yeah, I think there's a really strong support system for that type of thing. There's even a really great women in hospitality group, which I'm excited to get more involved with. And I feel like everyone wants to see each other succeed. At least that's what I've experienced. And there's always going to be the people who don't want change, and the negative voices can be louder. But all in all, I'm seeing that there's a lot of support around what we're doing. Just trying to elevate things that are already great and create things that are special. And people want to hang out at, whether it's somebody visiting or somebody, at the end of the day, our biggest focus is on people that live here, and people that visit are great to have too, but we're creating these spaces for, the community itself, so.
Interesting. Would you, for someone who has never been here, like, how do you describe the area?
It's a good question. I'm probably the number one fan. I try to get everyone to move here.
Same. I'm always like, it's the most magical place in the
know,
world.
it really
It's a hidden
is.
gem. The water's so clear.
I'm particularly excited about all of the farming up here.
Farm to table.
Yes, the produce is unbelievable. Loma and Lakeview and so many great farms. To me, that's just very exciting. And just to see the future of what's possible up here.
Because and then it's I don't want to I want people to know, but then I don't want
I know that's the hard thing. And but just with you can enjoy this place year round. There's an activity that makes every season amazing. I've fallen in love with winter. Cross country skiing's been my.
What's your favorite trail? Where do you go?
I'm a big Vasa person just because I know what to expect, and it's just.
We've probably passed each other,
I'm
but
sure,
didn't know because we're all bundled up. Okay, so before the game, can you still, do you still have your store?
Yeah, so
Can you shop? Tell me about that.
Sure. So my friend Marissa and we had this vision to make our Airbnbs shoppable. So we pulled this whole concept together last summer and had a pop-up shop. And so, we're in the middle of figuring out what that looks like for this summer, but you can expect some pop-ups to be happening.
So you curate items that are here
Yeah,
in
that's
the space
what
from
we've
local
noticed.
artisans?
We both have so many guests asking, where are these plates from? Where are these duvets from? And candles. And so we just thought we'd bring it, right to.
Genius.
Right
And I'm
to
sure
them.
if we follow you on social media, we'll know the next.
Yeah,
Okay.
for sure. There'll be something in the works for sure. So.
Okay. And what Instagram handle should we follow you at?
_ Fern House is probably the one where I'm the most active.
Okay.
So.
We're gonna play a fun game. Hopefully it's fun.
Sure.
Just whatever
I'm
pops
up for it.
whatever pops to your mind first. 1 or 2 word answers. All right, here we go. Your favorite restaurant?
Hexenbell.
Yep. Favorite outdoor activity?
Cross country skiing. But I also love to paddleboard, so
Okay.
a little bit of both.
Northern Michigan's best kept secret?
Elk Rapids.
Favorite clothing store?
I think it's going to be LA Cool when it opens.
I've been hearing about that place. One thing or business you wish would come here?
Maybe just more of what we're building, more restaurants, and I don't know. We have
Seems
we
like
have a lot
things
of
are getting checked off the list.
Yeah, things are getting checked off. So.
And if you could have a drink with anyone, we were so lucky to have a drink with you. Who would it be?
Gosh, maybe Danny Meyer.
Oh, well, this was such a treat. Thanks for having us over.
Yes, thanks for coming.
So good to get to know you, and congratulations on everything.
Thank you so
Cheers.
much.